Hello, welcome to another Seeds of Flourishing video. So it's Saturday, so it's the music video. And as I mentioned last week, we've started a new music listening project in the household, which revolves around going through the 1,000 albums you must hear before you die from starting in 1978, not starting right at the back of the beginning, in parallel to listening to this podcast that I discovered recently. So I'm going to plug the podcast I discovered. It's not one of my podcasts because it's awesome. So it's called the 1001 Albums Club. I was quite excited this morning because they're pumping about 2 or 3 episodes a week, I think, now. So they're up to the Go-Go's Beauty and the Beast. And as I scrolled down this list, I just had this lovely warm feeling as I saw all the albums in the book from that period. So they're going through chronologically from the start of the book. I don't know if I mentioned it in the previous episode, but I did check in with the people that produce the podcast through I contacted them through email, and they confirmed that the book they're using is like the first edition. Well, it's a reprint of the first edition, but it goes up to the White Stripes album. And but starts off with In the Wee Small Hours, which all of the 1001 album iterations start off with that album. But I was going down this thinking, oh crikey, this is, and because we're starting in 78, 78 is where we're starting. I've got all this stuff to look forward to. Some cool stuff here. But anyway, the purpose of this video is primarily about 2 albums. So we've upped our game a bit this week. We were going to originally just go through 1 album starting in 78 a week, but we decided that probably we needed to do it a bit faster. So we're going to do 2 albums now. So we're going to do one on a Wednesday and one on a Saturday, and that each gives us 2 to 3 days to listen to an album. And then we listen to the podcast in the evening or in the morning on a Saturday together. So coming up is Kraftwerk. I've been listening to this extensively over the last few days. I am already really familiar with the Man Machine, so it was really nice to go back to this. And on Saturday we've got Parallel Lines, so I'm going to start listening to that as of tomorrow. So I'll be listening to that Thursday, Friday when I'm walking around or in the house. Yeah, so pretty cool, those 2 albums. And the purpose of this video is just to give a bit more background if people aren't familiar with these albums. Going forward, I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to, this is now going to become the Saturday Seeds of Flourishing video. Every week I'm going to feature the 2 albums for that week. But certainly for the next few weeks I'll do it, and then I might get bored or whatever, but we'll see. Because obviously if you then have picked up on the book and started yourself, then you're probably going to be fairly familiar, and it might get a little bit boring with me going through it as well. But I thought at the moment, as I've just started the listening project after various attempts over the years of going through that 1001 albums book, I just thought I'd leverage my excitement. So this came out on the 19th of May 1978, and it was between Trans Europe Express in 77 and Computer World in 81. So 6 tracks on it. You can see there was actually 5 singles, a lot of singles released off this album from 78 through to 81, although you can see the early ones were basically German. The other thing to note with this, if you go on Spotify, there's both the German and the UK version of this album, if you're interested in listening to it in different languages. I've actually done that before with other albums. I have a Trust album where I've got the English translation version. Apparently Jimmy Percy from Sham 69 helped with that. And the original French Trust album was Repression, Anyway, I've digressed back to Man Machine. But yeah, it is interesting to listen to albums in different languages if they're available. So you can see, yeah, there's the lineup for Kraftwerk. In fact, I was going to quickly jump over to the Kraftwerk page because I was interested in the band timeline here. And you can see there's been a number of other people sort of involved with the band beyond that, what I would consider to be, I suppose, their sort of classic period. And you can see here, I suppose, we're talking around about, yeah, this area here. From just after, what, 75 through to sometime around 85 with the 4 members. So what would that be? Yeah, this sort of period here. So I'm curious now, who was on Autobahn? Oh, right, it's quite a few. Different members there. Florian. I'm always split over what is my favourite album, whether it's Autobahn or Trans Europe Express. Possibly I prefer Trans Europe Express. Oh yeah, there we go. You can see now they've got all the sort of band members on the cover. And then we get into Computer World. Awesome album. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, one of them was Man Machine. And then, of course, Blondie's Parallel Lines. Between Plastic Letters in 77 and Neat to the Beat in 79. 6 singles off of this from 78 through to 79. Picture this. I'm Gonna Love You Too, Hanging on the Telephone, Heart of Glass, Sunday Girl, One Way or Another. This is definitely my favourite Blondie album. There's so many hits on it. And you can see, as with the Man Machine, does pretty well in the reviews on various publications. Of course, no surprise, it's in the 1001 albums. And it makes loads of lists. And as often the case, there's all these remastered deluxe versions. I think they're nice to have. I mean, I always like to just listen to the album in its original format. And sometimes when I'm on Spotify, I might even take the album, create a playlist, and then take out all the bonus tracks just so I can listen to the album in its sort of original format. I don't believe I've got either of these albums on vinyl. In fact, I know I haven't. I mean, obviously I'm listening to these now through Spotify, but both of these, I know I had this one on cassette, and then ultimately both of these albums on CD. So yeah, that's what I'm predominantly listening to this week, is the Man Machine and Parallel Lines. And yeah, makes me very happy listening to these albums. My seeds of flourishing are being truly watered. Okay, thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in the next video.